What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, what the world is listening to. I am the Hot Commodity and C, your current two-time longest reigning pay-per-view WWE pay-per-view champion of all time, Ant C, joined by my man, me, the Hot Commodities commodity. His name is Me. Is that the name you're going by?
Yep.
All right. Well, he's going by Me. So cool.
Me and you.
Me Aunt B. That's his new what is that slogan? Your catchphrase? Me
Your
Aunt B.
handle.
Your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle. Yes. Well, we are covering.
Handle used to be on truck drivers on the radio.
What do you mean?
Like truck drivers, they would talk to each other over the
Oh yeah,
radio.
like a little,
That was their handle. Was their name.
Oh.
That's where that comes.
Oh, see.
Not from Twitter.
Well, they call it, Instagram.
I know,
but
that's where the
Instagram
original.
Okay. Well, you learn stuff new when you're sitting next to an ancient piece of rock over here. So this is our 2023 year-end awards. I used to call them the Slammy Awards, even though that's copyright by WWE. But it's still kind of Slammy Awards, our own version. But this time we're calling it the 2023 year-end awards. I've now been covering WWE for 3 years, right?
The Uncensored.
The Uncensored Awards. That sounds kind of like a porn, though. I don't know if we should show this to people. Maybe we'll call it the Uncensored Awards. Yeah, we'll call it something. Anyways, so yes, 2023 is coming to a close, and what better way to end the year by spending time with us going over the top moments of the year. Unfortunately, Christian cannot be with us tonight. He has other obligations. However, Happy New Year's to him, and I thank him for helping us with the show and for his ideas and thoughts. And thank you for everybody who tunes in all the time and checks us out. We are now at 574 followers on YouTube.
We got 1,000 by the end of the year.
Hopefully, I mean, we have till midnight, so hopefully
at the end of next.
Oh, at the end of 2024, that's your goal. 1,000 by 2024. I hope. But since we're talking about all things 2023, let's cover our first category of the night. The first award is for The Future is Great. So these are wrestlers who either started last year or in 2023, and these are people that and I believe have a bright future ahead of them. And the competitors are Solo Sikoa.
The hot.
Yeah, I should be on there. But no, Solo Sikoa is on there. He has been the enforcer of the bloodline for months since he joined last September, and he definitely has a future ahead of him. Austin Theory, former U.S. champion, fought John Cena at WrestleMania. He also has a future ahead of him. Zelina Vega, former manager to Andrade, actually competed at Backlash against Rhea Ripley in her hometown of San Juan. Well, her home, what is it? A territory, Puerto Rico. Yeah, where she's from.
Home place.
Her home place, her home state, her home, whatever you want to call it. But Zelina Vega, I've always been a big fan of hers, so I'm glad I made this list for her. Well, she made the list. I made the list for her. I sure did. Maxine Dupree, who just came up as a member of the Alpha Academy. She's learning to wrestle right in front of us. She's got good looks, but also good ability. So definitely the future is plenty for her. Butch has been in WWE now for over 5 years.
I love me some Butch.
You're a big Butch fan. I am too. However, he still hasn't. He definitely is underrated. He hasn't gotten a lot of push since he started. So I definitely think Butch has a lot of good things coming in 2024. Maybe they'll call him Pete Dunne, his real name again. Next, we have Dominic Mysterio. He definitely had a huge year in 2023, turning on his father, joining the Judgment Day. Well, he joined Judgment Day last year, but pretty much actually causing a fighting his dad at WrestleMania, then being a solidified member of the Judgment Day, winning the NXT North American Championship. A lot happened for Dominic. And last but not least, Zoe Stark. She joined forces with Trish Stratus. She was on one of the main women of the Raw Women's Division for the past summer months. and just had a match against Rhea Ripley in November. And there's definitely, I see some stuff from her. But and why don't you reveal our pick, the Uncensored Future is Great Award? Who does it go to?
It goes to Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it. I think just recapping his year, fighting against his dad at WrestleMania in a marquee match, winning the NXT North American title, having his relationship with Mommy being a focal point. He definitely has a lot going for him in 2024. I could even see him be a U.S. champion, Intercontinental, maybe if Gunther drops the title. But I definitely think Dominic has a lot of future ahead of him. So I'm glad we picked him. So yes, the Uncensored.
He could beat Gunther.
He could beat Gunther. He could. Uncensored Award for Future is Great goes to Dominic Mysterio. Let's move along to our Uncensored Award for Tag Team of the Year. Here are the options. We have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They reunited back in February. They joined forces to take on the Usos. Let's go to take on the Usos at WrestleMania 39. They actually main evented WrestleMania 39. They competed in other matches against the Judgment Day, and they even teamed up at Survivor Series. However, they kind of went separate ways after this, but they did have a tremendous year. Pretty Deadly are
They
new.
had to go separate ways because they were drafted.
They were drafted, yeah. Pretty Deadly are new to the scene. They're on SmackDown, although they are known for being very over the top. I think they're former WWE Tag Team Champions, if I'm correct, already.
Pretty Deadly?
Yeah.
No.
I thought they won the tag team titles. No?
No.
Okay, well, I thought they did. They're NXT Tag Team Champions, but they came up on SmackDown. They've been on SmackDown fighting the Brawling Brutes. They've been in the division doing a lot of funny skits backstage. Next, Alpha Academy. They've been on Raw, Otis and Chad Gable. It's cool because Chad Gable is the more amateur athlete and Otis is the more brawl powerhouse of that team. Next up, the Usos. Although they split up, they had a tremendous beginning of the year. Royal Rumble, then going on to WrestleMania 39 main eventing against Owens and Zayn, riding with the Bloodline. Who knows? They might team up again in 2024.
I got a feeling.
The Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, they are the current WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. They've held on to the titles for a couple of months now. Judgment Day has been controlling all Raw, and all the people that they have fought, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Creed brothers, Alpha Academy, they all have fallen.
Those Creed brothers are going to get those.
Well, speaking of the Creed brothers, they are also on our list. Two brothers, Julius and Brutus. They're from NXT, former NXT Tag Team Champions. They're pretty much almost like actual collegiate athletes, amateur wrestlers, but they're also high flying. They do great moves. So a lot of competition here, but why don't you name the Uncensored Award for Tag Team of the Year?
The Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day. I mean, listen, it was hard to pick. It was between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and the Judgment Day, but the deciding factor is that Judgment Day has been the mainstay on Raw since the beginning of the year, and you can't talk about a tag team without talking about the Judgment Day. So, Tag Team of the Year goes to Judgment Day. Moving right along, we have our Faction of the Year. So these are groups that have been in WWE. Of course, we're going to mention the Bloodline, Ruler, the Tribal Chief, WWE Undisputed Champion Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, Paul Heyman, and Jimmy Uso, sometimes Jey Uso. Sami Zayn was in it at one point. The Bloodline has seen better days, but they are still dominant in WWE. Yep. Judgment Day has been dominant since joining Raw. They've been taking over everything. They're definitely a group not to mess with. Damage Control, since debuting last August, have gotten bigger and better.
They've stepped up a lot in the last 2 months.
Yeah, with the addition of Asuka and Kairi Sane to the group, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Bayley, they have controlled SmackDown. They fought in a big match against Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Io is the current WWE Women's Champion. Bayley, I see the Royal Rumble winner in our future. So Damage Control definitely has been running things. The LWO, Latino World Order, that used to be Zelina Vega, Joaquin Wilde, Raul Mendoza, Santos Escobar, and Rey Mysterio. while they were a group.
Well, I think it still is minus Escobar.
Yes, minus Escobar. Yes, thank you for that. Ray, Zelina, Joaquin, and Raul are still together. Escobar's out, but he's got his new group now with Humberto and Angel, which we'll talk about probably next year. But LWO group that was inspired from the 1997 group from WCW, a group of huge Hispanic athletes just killing it in WWE. And our final group, the OC, which is Carl Anderson, Gallows, AJ Styles, and Mia Yim. They've been kind of having, on the come up with AJ Styles coming back. Who knows what's in their future? But former tag team champions, they're former WWE champion in this group. But tell us who the award for the Uncensored faction of the year goes to.
The Judgment Day.
Again, they're cleaning house.
This seems rigged.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the Judgment Day are so great and good at what they do that, you can't stop them for being great. And that's what they are. Moving right along. Pay-per-view of the year. This is a hard one. Let's go over the options for this. For pay-per-view of the year, we have Elimination Chamber from February. Montreal, Quebec, a big crowd. Sami Zayn taking on Roman Reigns for the title. 2 Elimination Chamber matches. Great card. Survivor Series War Games. It was a night of 2 War Games matches. Damage Control involved in the first. The second saw the return of Randy Orton to fight in the War Games match. Then the end, the big moment of the night, the return of CM Punk. The undercard was good too. Gunther versus The Miz. Money in the Bank live in London, England. A huge night.
That was awesome.
That was a great card. Just the crowd being in London, they were all excited for it. A great night there. Backlash, another card live in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
That was fun.
Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in the street fight. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. The crowd was really hyped for this pay-per-view, so I enjoyed it as well. Payback had 2 good matches on the card that were on the list for best matches. Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch in a steel cage match. The Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in an ODQ match. Great card. And finally, WrestleMania 39 split into 2 nights. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Go on and on. Great card. You tell me, sir, what is the Uncensored award for best pay-per-view?
The Uncensored award obviously goes to WrestleMania.
It does.
It does. Now I'm going to say for Christian, who's not here, if he were here, he would pick Backlash because it was in Puerto Rico. And he was excited about that.
And listen, the card, those were our top 2. It was either going to be WrestleMania 39 or Backlash. The reason why I went with 39 was just based on matches alone. Backlash was great, but in terms of the crowd was great. The fans were really behind.
I think the best crowd.
Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar had a great match. London was a huge, great crowd. Yeah. But yes, the award Uncensored is controversial here. Yeah. Goes to WrestleMania 39.
Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar because they had awesome matches.
They did. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar definitely did. Sure. You like that. All right. Moving on to return of the year. Pair of options. The Viper, Randy Orton. When he came back, I popped. I was happy to see him at Survivor Series. Daddy's back. John Cena, he came back to take on Austin Theory at WrestleMania.
The greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time. Then during the writer's strike in Hollywood, he showed up in the summer. Had a great run then. The People's Champion, the great one, The Rock, showed up to electrify SmackDown. Lay at the SmackDown, yes. Speaking of The Rock, she's not like most girls. Nia Jax, The Rock's cousin, came back, has been annihilating everybody. Get it? Annihilator on her finisher. Yeah. And looks to face Becky at day 1. Trish Stratus, the GOAT. Thank you, Trish. My favorite female wrestler of all time. She came back, put on a hell of a ride with Becky Lynch this year. Carlito.
I hear some talk that Miss Trish could be coming back.
Oh, please come back. Carlito. He was huge in 2005. He defeated John Cena for the U.S. title, became Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion, done it all. Came back in Puerto Rico to help Bad Bunny against Damian Priest. That was a nice return. And finally, two more. The Dead Man, the Phenom, the Undertaker showed up. He did show up on Raw to talk to Bray Wyatt, which was a special moment that they had after not being there for a while. So anytime the Phenom comes back, that's cool. Yeah. And last but not least, the return everyone's been talking about, the best in the world, CM Punk. He came back. Who? I wasn't expecting it. I was going crazy. Excited that he's back. Know that there's going to be drama behind it. But why don't you tell us the best return of?
Well, to be honest, I was more thrilled about Randy Orton, but the award goes to CM Punk.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Orton is huge, but just with everyone, baseball people were talking about it. It was everywhere. Everyone was excited.
It was on the news.
It was on the news. Everyone's excited about CM. All right, we're coming on to our two last categories. We will be dropping our best matches category tomorrow, and we're going to be giving you our pick for it. We're going
to go rewatch them tonight
just for this.
Just for this.
Okay. So, our female wrestler of the year, okay? Here are our options. The man, Becky Lynch. She had a great year. She was WWE Tag Team Champion with Lita. She fought at WrestleMania against Damage Control. She fought in 2 great matches against Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark. Then she moved on to NXT and became NXT Women's Champion, had a great match against Tiffany Stratton, joined the War Games face team, is now going to be taking on Nia Jax. Becky has done it all this year. Next, we have Bayley, one of the founding females of Damage Control.
I'm going to say, I'm a little spoiler. We didn't pick Bayley, but I think this is going to be the year of Bayley.
You think 2024 is the next year?
Yes, okay. I think this is it. Actually, I think it's going to be a little bit in the next couple of months. I think starting at the Royal Rumble, Bayley's going to be coming back.
Well, Bayley as the leader of Damage Control, she's kind of been put to the side, allowing Io Sky to sort of shine right now. But she always is on top. She always got something in the back of her sleeve all the time. Bayley is a star. Next, Io Sky, the current WWE Women's Champion. She was huge in NXT, huge in Japan, came over to WWE, defeated Bianca Belair to become the WWE Women's Champion. She ended up, being the main Women's Champion for SmackDown when the draft happened. She fought, Bianca Belair, I think, at Night of Champions. She was involved in SummerSlam. She did a lot this year. Unfortunately, she's been kind of looked over a little bit, but Io Sky is great. Next, we have Charlotte Flair. She had a great match against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She was involved in the Women's War Games. Charlotte Flair is just a great wrestler. She doesn't really need to have a lot of accolades in this year.
And she's injured right now.
She's injured, yep.
She's going to be out a lot. A few months.
Last but not least, Mommy, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley. It's been a huge year for Rhea Ripley, winning the title from Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. Probably a lot of people saying stealing the show from that card. Rhea would then go on to defend the title against every and all comers: Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler. Everybody that's come her way. Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley has beaten them all. She's also, I would say, the leader of the Judgment Day, has a relationship with Dominic Mysterio. Her hands has been all over everything. Been working with Drew McIntyre this year. So Bloodline, yes, she did for a little bit. Who do you give female of the year to?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. She deserves it. I mean, I didn't think this really much of her before. I mean, I did think of her, but I didn't think she was going to do as well as she did this year. So I'm happy to give her that award. All right, moving on to male of the year.
Who was Liv Morgan's tag team partner?
Raquel Rodriguez.
She beat Raquel too.
Yep, she beat Raquel Rodriguez. Liv Morgan, yep.
Raquel was one of the women of the year too this year.
Yeah, but she really didn't do much. I mean, to be honest, what she did.
Don't be a jerk.
I'm not being a jerk, but if we're talking, I mean, she's only involved in one story.
She lost the tag team titles because Liv got hurt.
Yeah.
And then she kind of got screwed out of that. And then she went and fought Rhea. And she was in the main storyline for a while in the beginning of the year.
Raquel has a lot they need to use her more.
Yeah,
they don't use her at all.
She could be.
She becomes like an afterthought. No, she's alive and well. She's kicking.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the male of the year. Oh wait, before we do that, sorry, I forgot. We want to go over the people who did pass away this year quickly. Jerry Jarrett, father of Jeff Jarrett, created his own territory down in Memphis with Jerry Lawler. Lanny Poffo, the genius and brother of Randy Savage. Droz, former Attitude Era superstar, former LOD member. Then he joined forces with Prince Albert. Bushwhacker Butch, huge during the 80s, a part of the Bushwhackers with lick people's faces. Very strange, but a great gimmick.
Yeah.
Superstar Billy Graham, former WWE champion in the 70s.
Awesome.
Great guy. Hulk Hogan sort of looked after him a little bit in terms of like bodybuilding and attire, the long blonde hair. Superstar Billy Graham was the first. The Iron Sheik, huge name for WWE, huge villain during the Cold War time in the 80s. He was defeated by Hulk Hogan for the WWE title in Madison Square Garden, but he went on to be a tag team champion with Nikolai Volkov, and he is a Hall of Famer. Also, Bushwhacker Butch and Superstar Billy Graham are all Hall of Famers as well as the Iron Sheik. Terry Funk, he's a Hall of Famer. Former WCW Hardcore champion, former like NWA champion, former like he's done it all. WWE Tag Team champion with Mankind, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack. Terry Funk's done it all in the business. Living hardcore legend at the time, unfortunately passed away.
Terry Funk.
Jay Briscoe, who competed in AEW and Impact Wrestling, brother of Mark Briscoe. The Briscoe brothers had a great rivalry with FTR, ended in a double dog collar match. Jay Briscoe would pass away in March. And last but not least, Bray Wyatt, a huge star in WWE. When we found out the news, I was shocked, going way too soon. It was not due to suicide. It was a heart attack related to a COVID-19.
He was going to be.
He was, yeah. His whole storyline was coming back with the rabbit gimmick. He had the Uncle Howdy and the Fiend, and everything was coming into play.
They should have continued that story.
I know. Well, Uncensored Wrestling Podcast says rest in peace to all those that we lost this year. Sad music montage. Cute. Moving on to Male of the Year. All right, we have L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
He had a big year. He started just shot right up to the top with his catchphrase. He's been killing it. He fought Roman Reigns. He's been now sort of helping out Randy Orton, good guy, part of the War Games team. Intercontinental champion Gunther, leader of Imperium, undefeated for over 300 days, is one of the longest reigning Intercontinental champions of all time.
He's not undefeated no more. He's just still champion.
Oh, why?
Because he's gotten pinned.
I know.
Like he was in a 3-way, in a tag team. He lost. Didn't Chad Gable pin him? Somebody did. Somebody pinned him.
Well,
he lost in a tag team.
He lost. I agree with you. The Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the current undisputed WWE champion, had a big year. Main event at WrestleMania, fought at Night of Champions. When he maybe had 4 matches.
Yeah, he probably worked 8 nights this year.
Yep. The current WWE World Champion Seth frickin' Rollins had a great year. Great matches. Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul.
Seth is the champion.
AJ Styles. He's had a huge.
Roman carries a belt. Seth is
a champion. And last but not least, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, came back at the Royal Rumble, wants to finish his story, fought against Roman Reigns, then fought with Jey Uso against the Bloodline, then moved on to take on the Judgment Day. He then has a rivalry going on with Shinsuke Nakamura.
And I found out today,
Brock Lesnar. I forgot all about his rivalry with Brock Lesnar. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio. Cody Rhodes was number 1. Fought the most fights in WWE this year.
Wow.
And Cody Rhodes, he 113 fights. He only lost 7.
He lost 7 of 113.
Yeah.
That's a statistic there for you.
Now Dominic lost like 60 something, but he still wrestled over 100 fights, Dominic. So Cody, Rhodes, and Dominic both killed.
All right. Well, why don't you announce the Uncensored Award for Match of the Year? Or I'm sorry, Male Superstar of the Year. I got a little ahead of myself there.
Well, it had to be one person because even though blah 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 was CM Punk, this whole year revolved around the Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
Sure did. Even though he didn't get to finish his story, the whole year was
He's
him
working on it.
trying to, fighting Brock Lesnar, overcoming the
He's
odds.
on the last chapter.
He's on the last fucking chapter. So we are as well. With that, we're going to be saying goodnight. We will be.
It's going to happen at WrestleMania.
It's going to happen at WrestleMania.
Maybe SummerSlam.
Maybe SummerSlam. We'll be dropping our best matches of 2023 tomorrow, hopefully, if not January 2nd. But before we go, we want to wish you all a happy new year. 2023 was crazy, intense, good moments, bad moments, but all in all, it was a great year. This is the first year that I have done every single Raw and SmackDown. Well, I missed one SmackDown recap. Yes, I missed one. But I am excited after all the pay-per-views.
Which one was it?
Oh, God, I don't remember. Maybe like one or two. I forgot. That's okay. Nothing important happened.
You added me, though.
I added you. Yeah.
It makes us
So I'm excited for 2024. We got the WrestleMania 40. We got Backlash going to be in France. We got Elimination Chamber in Australia. WWE is going worldwide. Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast is always worldwide. We were back in 2022, the number one, well, top 5 most shared globally podcast streaming. So we are worldwide. So there we go. But as I speak, as we finish, we actually now have 575 followers on. There we go. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a safe and happy New Year's Eve, and we will see you in 2024. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored. Happy New Year.